Respect the talk, respect the talk. 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 Respect the talk.
Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B. from Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planner, and I'm here to tell you about our Where To Next 2026 vacation calendar. Starting off with May 2nd on Freedom of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, going out for 5 days. Then we're doing our land and air vacation. You asked for it. Here we're going out to Vegas in 6 days over in Hawaii and just having a blast. And this kicks off on June 17th. Then another one you asked for, we head back out to Alaska again on July 26th on the beautiful ship Celebrity Edge. Then in October, another trip you asked for. We heading over to Aruba and Carousel. This is going out October 17th on the Allure of the Seas. And then our biggest trip of the year is on the Allure of the Seas, November 29th, which is our hog biker cruise. You don't need to be a hog or biker to attend. Just come have some fun. We having our leather and lace karaoke party. We having a pool get together. And you got entertainment by me, Jerry B, and my younger brother, Timmy B, doing the show for you guys. So grab your pencil and paper, call Jerry at 920-265-8143, or Pam at 401-368-3275, or John, 703-346-8352. And as always, see you at sea. Hi, folks. Welcome to Respect to Talk on another Tuesday. Oh, my goodness. What is this? April 28th. What another wonderful day we have out here. But again, guess what? I'm here in Florida, just chilling here with my red couch behind me and everything. Just being amazed, man, But, it is just such a beautiful day. There's some crazy things happening in the world, folks. Oh, my God. We're going to get to that real soon. We're going to get to that real soon, I promise. But before we do that, we're going to bring my nephew in here so I can see how he's been doing and how his week was going. What's up, James? How you doing?
What's going on?
Showing us
What's
your,
going on?
showing us your bald head again, starting out,
Hey.
man.
Hey,
And you got
I'm
your
trying
look.
to find something here on YouTube.
Hey, man, don't go. Hey, you're looking good in your hoodie, too, huh?
Hey, this is comfortable wear.
Is it cold there, Southern man?
It you know what? There's a slight breeze out that ain't the warmest, but and I had to run and grab my grandson from his job. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why you got the hoodie on.
yeah.
So- I there's a friend of mine that's posted some pictures. She's down here in Florida, but she lives in Green Bay. And it's more actually is a friend of Tori's, and she posted some pictures of Florida, Wisconsin, and these people outside in this garage and chilling out there, and they all sitting in their lawn chairs just chilling. She said, "Now this is what Wisconsin's all about," but yet every one of them got on hoodies, and I said, and that's the reason I don't want to be in Wisconsin. Because if I was sitting in my driveway with a bunch of friends, I don't want to be sitting out there freezing. You got one person in shorts, but the rest of them got hoodies on, and they all out there. They probably want to put a little fire pit out there too. But I've been there, done that. I lived that life. I'm just mad. I can't do it, bro.
Yeah, I could just see you now. You sitting in your driveway in some Bahama shorts with the flowers and everything all over them.
Bahama shorts, man. I be in my Speedos. What the hell you talking about, man? I be showing the
Okay, that
world.
just made me sick.
I be
I,
showing the
I
world.
just
Show them
put
to
a little
me.
bit in my mouth, man. Come on now.
Hey, this is Florida, baby. Everybody want to be Jimmy Buffett down here, even the black people. Oh my
Oh,
God, I tell you, man, it's crazy up here in Florida, man. But hey, you know, hey, DeSantis, man, I gotta tell you this before we get to this show, man. And all you folks out there, respect the talk land who's from Florida. I know they're trying to get rid of property tax down here. And if he
okay.
can get that done, I'm gonna love him. Literally, because I mean that's going to save a lot of people who own homes a ton of money. Because that's some homes are five, some homes are $10,000 a year just for property tax. You
Oh, I
know,
believe it.
so it's
I
like,
believe
dude,
it.
if you can get rid of that, I mean, you got my vote. Even though he's trying to run for something, I don't know what he's trying to run for president. Who knows? Knowing him, but hey,
Again.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, well, Trump can't run, so what else you going to have between him and Vance and what's his name, Marco Rubio?
Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen there, man? Because y'all got the Republican side. They bench kind of shallow when it comes to that. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's another story to the game. I mean, that's another story to our Respect the Talk show too. So, but it's no big deal, bro. Hey, let's jump right into this. All right, folks, welcome back to Respect the Talk. Before we even get into this, go ahead, hit that like button. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with somebody who's not afraid of real conversation. Because today, yeah, we're stepping into some uncomfortable territory. We're not here to play it safe. We're here to talk about it for real. So whether you agree, disagree, or are somewhere in the middle, stay locked in. Let's get to it. James, what do we got going on today, my nephew?
all right, once again, this one should be a good one. A lot of interesting conversations going on here. We're starting out with what just happened at the DC Correspondents Dinner and
Yep.
the shooting. Um, and then we're going to walk through the timeline around Trump's assassination attempt and everything leading into the 2024 election.
Yep.
After that, we're getting into Iran, nuclear weapons, and U.S. strategy, what's being said versus what actually makes sense. Then we're breaking down Obama's nuclear deal versus what came after it and how those decisions are hitting people today,
Yep.
not just politically, but economically. And we're closing it out with the bigger picture: global tension, nuclear threats, and accountability, not just from leadership, but from the people too. So, once again, got a lot to cover, a lot to get into. Let's do it.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk. Respect the talk.
All right, folks, like my nephew he's back with us again. I don't know why he keeps coming back. He must like doing this stuff.
I do.
You
We
do?
were supposed to bring blood pressure cuffs, man, to see what happens.
Yeah,
But
I know. Yeah.
I forgot mine.
Watch each other's blood pressure. Hey, folks out there, respect the talk. Like this today's show. Yeah, we had so much going on this weekend. We have to bring it up and talk about it. We're trying to lighten the show up, and we're going to get back to lightening the show up because there's a couple of movies, or should I say, shows I finished that I want to talk about. That me and my wife watched. They were series. So we definitely did a series that we just finished the other day, and I thought it was pretty darn good. But we'll talk about that a different time. But because we got so much going on, like this DC shooting, y'all. All right, let's get this straight into it, y'all. There's an elephant in the room right now, and it's getting harder to ignore. For those who didn't hear, there was a shooting connected to the White House Correspondents Dinner. Yeah, that event happened at the Washington Hilton in D.C. Suspect 31-year-old Cole Allen. Now, before we even go deeper, people always ask, why is it called the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Dinner, if it's not even at the White House. Well, I'm going to explain this to you real quick. There's a quick breakdown. It's named after the journalist who covers the president. That association's been around since 1921. It's about media, scholarships, all that, but now we're talking about violence tied to it. That alone should make you pause. What do you think, James? Let's talk about this right now because that was crazy.
It was. I first of all, it's you're 100% correct. It has always been something that the president was invited to, but wasn't based around the president. It was supposed to have been an opportunity for the different guys with presidential press pass to be able to go talk shop,
Laugh, joke,
inspire, right, laugh, joke, and inspire up and
up and
coming
coming,
journalists.
yeah. But they actually raised
That's what
money to help them out, up and
exactly,
coming journalists.
exactly. So it was always a good thing, and the president was always invited, um, just to give um, not only credit to the whole situation, but it was also meant for those up and coming journalists to actually see and interact with um, heads of state
Right, yeah.
in general, so that when it came time for them to step into one of those roles, they weren't necessarily acting brand new
Right,
or starstruck.
right, yeah.
So it's like I said, it's a good thing all the way around.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this right here because this has been bugging me, you know, because people are saying the journalists are biased and all this other crap. I don't believe that. I think these journalists are doing their job. Now, mind you, we're talking journalists. We're not talking about TV hosts or opinion hosts. We're talking journalists, and these folks are out there busting their butts trying to do a great job. It just started over the last 8 years, 9 years that, or 10 years, and you can put this in a succession that journalists are rude and mean and they lie all the time and all this other, or they embellish. Now, that didn't start until, guess what? He came in and started being running for the first time to being president. He starts saying journalists are lying, it's cheating, and everything else. And now you got all these people out here saying the same thing and believing this crap and saying you can't believe journalists. Yes, you can. They're telling you exactly what just happened. What you can't believe is opinion hosts, and you can't mix those two together. You can't say Tucker Carlson is a journalist. He's not a journalist. He's an opinion host. But you can say uh, uh, I don't know, give me a journalist name off the top of your head. I can't think of one. Como. You can say he's a journalist because he reports the news or somebody like that. I'm just trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. But these opinion hosts out there, and Como's probably opinion host too. I mean, I'm just using that
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
example.
You're
He's another
I'm
opinion host
kind of
too.
going back, but you're journalists would be the Walter Cronkite's, the Dan Rathers, the Um, those type.
But there are a few of them out there. It's just it's not like they're freaking dinosaurs. There are some out there. It's just that he's got you believing there aren't any out there. Give you a prime example. That conversation he just had with the young lady on 60 Minutes on Sunday, and he called her because she was a journalist. She just reported what the guy had written in his paperwork, and he called her foul language and everything under the sun, and she's just doing her damn job. And right away, he got defensive because he said, he was talking about pedophile. He said, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a rapist. She said, sir, I wasn't talking about you. I don't know if you've seen that. He said, sir, he didn't mention you, and neither did I. But you took it upon yourself to say I'm not a rapist. And then you want to call me out of my name and call me everything under the sun and say I'm the worst journalist there is. It's like, are you that thin-skinned that you took it that way?
No, that's like I said, a hit dog hollers, man. When you get too close to the truth, people who are guilty of it know it.
Yeah, because I listened to it.
That are going to complain.
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing, and she was just doing her job as a journalist, saying this guy who got caught. This is what the FBI and everybody found in his what's his name, and she read it, and he said, I knew you was going to read that, and blah, blah, blah. And he attributed it all to him. And she wasn't saying it was him. It could have been anybody in his administration, but he automatically assumed it was him. So then he degraded her like she's not a journalist, and she is. She's doing her darn job. But that's what he's got all these other people believing these people aren't journalists. Yes, they are, folks. If they're reporting what's going on out there in the world and it's true, they are journalists. Now, if they making up crap, they are not journalists. That's the big difference, you guys.
Yeah, well, they're not good journalists.
No, not good journalists, yeah.
Right.
But I'm telling you,
if they're just spouting their opinions, then those are not journalists. Those are TV hosts.
Yeah,
those
opinion columnists. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. We're not journalists. We're not saying we're journalists. We're just repeating what we hear. We're telling you what's going on in the market and what's going on in the world right now. So what we got this stuff from journalists. So we're basically opinion hosts too. We're not journalists. I didn't research this. I didn't go out there and get the story. I researched it, but I didn't go get it. The journalists got it, so I'm just repeating what the journalists found. And same thing as you. And we're giving you our opinion on what the journalists found. That don't make us journalists. That just makes us opinion hosts, what we are. This is an opinion show, which is why we want you folks to come on here, because we want to hear your opinion. So I'm telling you, this just keeps getting smelly and fishier every day, though. Now, here's where we get sticky, because the moment you start connecting dots, people just jump straight to, oh, that's a conspiracy, or nah, that didn't happen, or that's made up. But then you got the other side saying if something feels off and information is being hidden, maybe there's more to it. So let's say this right here, you guys. Allegedly. That's a big word, allegedly. If you don't know the definition, look it up. Just so everybody stay calm, yeah, we're saying allegedly. We're not saying it's for but let's walk this timeline. July 13, 2024, assassination attempt on Trump in Pennsylvania. Now, before that, Trump was going hard saying Biden should resign. Questions about Biden's health everywhere. Then rumors start floating about Kamala stepping in, possibly running. Now, this is the timeline I'm giving everybody. Then, boom, July 21st, she announces. Now, hold on, y'all. Just sit with that for a second. Mid-year, Trump pushes Biden out. Rumors about Biden's condition, rumors about Kamala running, then an assassination attempt, then Kamala announces. That's a lot happening real close together. Now, I'm telling you what to think. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just asking, does that not feel like a lot lining up at once? And yeah, there's footage out there that people says, look, we're real weird. Now, fast forward to today. Trump's back in office. Immigration, he stayed on that. But everything else feels like the opposite direction. Prices up, tensions up, even people close to him starting to question things. Then he makes a move on Iran. Not Israel, Iran. Mind you, this was Israel's fight. Now we're talking about what feels like the start of something bigger, like an unofficial war. And on top of that, You got major voices, Rogan, Theo Von, Tucker, Schultz, people who are once aligned starting to distance themselves, people calling it a MAGA exodus. And now another assassination situation enters this conversation. Man, something just ain't sitting right. Now, I know that's a lot to take in that I just said, a lot to take in. Talk to me, James.
Right. And you're 100% correct. This is all just really oddball timing because like you said, Kamala Harris gets in, she stirs up the pot. There's a lot of excitement behind her. Um, and this is after Trump got what he wanted, which was Biden so discredited that he dropped out.
Right.
But again, he drops out. Kamala gets in. There's a lot of buzz and excitement around her getting in, and there's an assassination attempt. An assassination attempt where the more we've looked at it over the past year and some change, the more odd things appear, including, Secret Service moving the photographer in place. The flag just happened to be lowered in the correct spot for that infamous fight
Right,
pose.
right, yeah.
Um, him swearing up and down that he was shot in the ear, yet the ear that should have been shredded has zero, not even a scar at today.
Yeah.
It was there's just a lot there.
Yeah.
And again, it all had to do with his popularity at the time or versus the popularity of his opponent. And again, like you said, fast forwarded to today, there's a shooting in what should have been an incredibly secured location,
Right.
just as the shooting that took place there with the famous fight post.
Right.
Should have been incredibly secure, yet you got somebody who's able to not only get to a rooftop, but get to a rooftop with a rifle.
Right, yeah.
Just these things historically, since the JFK assassination, have been scrutinized, over scrutinized, double checked, triple checked, aerial photos taken, experts looking at the entire situation surrounding it. If I'm not mistaken, they hire guys who would intentionally attempt to say, okay, if I was going to do it, this is how I would do it. And they go through, they run all kinds of scenarios, but yet and still, this untrained kid was able to get to a rooftop and be able to fire off a shot.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Several shots, actually.
Yeah.
Now we fast forward again, this correspondence dinner, again, same scenario, and let's not even skip over the fact that in basically 5 years, now going on 6 years of his presidency, he's never attended one of these things.
Right, yeah, and all of a sudden he attends it.
refused.
Yeah, he refused it
All of a
because
sudden
he's got thin skin because of what happened last time.
Exactly. So he attends this thing, first time in 6 years, basically, where he should have attended. And this happens again in a location where security should have been unstoppable, unbreakable. His poll numbers are in the tank.
Yeah, big
Just
time. Yeah,
absolutely horrid. It's just there are too many questionable scenarios.
Right, yeah.
I mean, even their response. I mean, let's face it. We know historically Black and brown people are demonized to the point where um, they're more likely to be killed in a situation concerning law
Right.
enforcement. And especially at this with this type of gravity to it.
Well, I mean, my
Um,
guy, absolutely, you're absolutely right because I mean, hell, you can't run from a police officer without being killed. Black people, that didn't happen all day long. Here, you got 3 people now trying to kill the president. Three assassination attempts, and everyone, all 3 of them are alive to talk about it.
yeah,
They don't even get
yeah,
shot. I mean, now this is the president of the United States, and they don't even get shot.
right,
Go
right.
figure
And
that.
again, I mean, the other guys were white, but and we know that typically white guys are given more grace when it comes to um, law enforcement.
Right.
But black and brown people, and this guy shot at the president.
Yeah.
How is it that he was able to survive?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I
Oh,
just I don't see that. Like I said, there's all kind of conspiracy stuff. The elephant in the room, folks. We just talked about that. So much going on out there. It just gets crazy by the minute. You see the picture up there, and it was like a great photo op for him, and got him back into the presidency again because he got people feeling sorry for him, and all this other stuff going on. And I'm not saying we're not, folks. Don't start texting and emailing us because we're not trying to say it didn't happen. It's just a lot of things that so suspect about it,
right,
that you can question. And and if you're not questioning it, then something's wrong. Hell, they questioned the John F. Kennedy assassination, and they still questioning that and trying to figure out, did the government have anything to do with it? Hell, they still questioning Martin Luther King assassination because they think the government had something to do with it. So there's nothing wrong with it, questioning this, because it is suspect. It really is. 3 assassinations. He's the only one to have one president try to get assassinated 3 times. That should tell you guys something. I mean, either something ain't right, or he's doing a piss poor ass job that he just got people hating him, and they want to blame it on Democrats, and that's the thing that pisses me off because the blame game comes out, and they
yep,
start blaming Democrats instead of blaming all of them. Every one of them. I mean, we say some crazy things in here and on our show too. I can admit that we say some hardcore raunchy things on our show about him because we don't like him. But we're not in power. We're here to do like Jimmy Kimmel. He's a comedian. He says what the hell he wants to say, and he should have that right. But all the people in office there should bring the tone down because that's who the people are listening to. The president who starts with the biggest bully on the pulpit there is him. And he can't bring the tone down. And then you want everybody, the first thing they want to do is blame everybody else but him. Because what they do is they give him a pass by saying, well, that's who he is. That's how he just talks. That's not a pass. I'm sorry.
right.
So
And how often truly do we get situations where um, he or the Republican cronies that support him say whatever they want when it excuse me,
that's okay, bless you.
say whatever they want um about Democrats and and flip the script 180 degrees, and the exact same thing is happening, and it's a Republican that's saying something, or a Republican, something is happening to a Republican and a Democrat is saying something um just as bad or not as bad as what a Republican had just said. I mean, let's look at the situation um, with Trump's last assassination attempt prior to this one. Christy Nome had so much to say about um, the treatment that this guy didn't deserve because he was obviously a leftist Democrat, blah blah blah. But there were crickets when Paul Pelosi was attacked by a hammer
All right.
uh, based on what Republicans have been saying about Nancy.
Right, exactly. So yeah,
So it's been constant that what's good for me is evil for thee.
right, yeah,
So it's if we're talking about the correspondence dinner, I'm of the thought that yeah, this was suspicious. This was just poor timing. Um, what's her face? Uh, Caroline
yeah,
Levitt
yeah. Oh my God,
made the comment. Yeah, she made the comment before the show saying that there were going to be he's back to his old self. There were going to be shots fired. Um, yes, shots fired is a I I think she's too removed from the quote hip crowd to have thought of that on her own.
right.
Um, but then again, she is like 40 years younger than her husband, so she might be.
Who knows,
But
man?
but no, seriously. Um, I, shots fired refers to people saying something. Um, it's urban slang for someone saying something that gets underneath the skin of
Right,
someone else.
right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Um, so I'm not sure if she had ever used that term before in her life, but for whatever reason she used it.
I got
And I
speech
think
writers, so
yeah, yeah. I think it was just coincidence. I truly believe that was coincidence because
right,
I don't think she would have known and even said something that controversial if it had been planned and she knew about it.
right. Yeah,
But I am of of the crowd that believes that there's too many suspicious details about it
yeah.
that would suggest that this was staged.
Well, and
Um,
I mean, it's hard to, but it is what it is. We can be conspiracy theorists too here, right on a Respect to Talk show too. So you're
right,
loud,
right.
you're loud.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, it's that. Let's see. We got a comment here, but why do we always want to continue the event after a shooting has taken place? Who does that, and what fool wants to stay?
Right? Yeah, yeah,
And that's another one of those things that is suspicious
yeah.
because we know based on 10 years of dealing with this guy, something happens, especially something happens that affects him directly, and it's
Right.
the evil left and the
Oh
evil
yeah,
this and the Dems this and everybody under the sun is against him,
right.
out to get him. But
Nobody
in this
likes
case,
me.
right.
You're not
But in
you're
this
not a
case,
Trumper.
if right. But in this case, none of that happened. What happened was the show must go on.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna be brave little soldiers, and you know,
We'll be back and
where
all
was
this.
all
Yeah.
where was all the slamming of the left that you normally do?
Well, he did it. They did it the next day on Sunday.
But that was because that was an afterthought.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
was after we all noticed it and called them out on it.
Yeah. Because it's been too nice. But hey, you know what? Let's move on because this we could talk about this till next week because of this crazy crap here. Because we got so much other stuff to talk about too, like the Iran conflict, nuclear weapons, and the U.S. war strategy. Now let's talk about this Iran situation because I'm sure you've been following that. Because this right here, this is where logic has to kick in. Uh, wait. Before we do that, let's just go to break and then we'll come back at this because that way we can do two segments at 15, two 15s, okay? But we're gonna take a quick break, folks. We'll be right back at you in two and two.
Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B. from Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planner, and I'm here to tell you about our Where to Next 2026 vacation calendar. Starting off with May 2nd on Freedom of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, going out for 5 days. Then we're doing our land and air vacation. You asked for it. Here we're going out to Vegas in 6 days over in Hawaii and just having a blast. And this kicks off on June 17th. Then another one you asked for, we head back out to Alaska again on July 26th on the beautiful ship Celebrity Edge. Then in October, another trip you asked for. We heading over to Aruba and Carousel. This is going out October 17th on Allure of the Seas. And then our biggest trip of the year is on Allure of the Seas, November 29th, which is our hog biker cruise. You don't need to be a hog or biker to attend. Just come have some fun. We having our leather and lace karaoke party. We having a pool get together. And you got entertainment by me, Jerry B, and my younger brother, Timmy B, doing the show for you guys. So grab your pencil and paper, call Jerry at 920-265-8143, or Pam at 401-368-3275, or John, 703-346-8352. And as always, see you at sea.
All right, folks, like I said, let's get right to this and talk about this Iran situation, because this right here, y'all, this is where logic has to kick in. Telling Iran they can't have a nuclear weapon is like telling a felon they can't have a gun. And we see how that plays out every single day in America right here. You know, you can say it, you can make it illegal, but you can't stop somebody from wanting it or from trying to get it. No, especially after you've already created more tensions after their families, kids, and lives has been lost over there. You think that makes them less likely to want power? Really? Or more? Let's be real. You can't monitor every thought. You can't put a camera in every person's home. You know, I mean, it just don't happen that way. You know, I know you guys would like to think that. And that's exactly why past presidents didn't jump out there swinging like this. It wasn't out of weakness. It wasn't fear. It was understanding the consequences. Do you guys get that? They understood the consequences, because once you make that move, you don't control what comes next. And now, look at it, tied into something that feels like a long, drawn out situation, a quagmire. And you got to ask, was this really thought through though? Or was this just ego making decisions? I'm going to say ego making decisions, because he's trying to be that bully. And we talked about this before on our show, is that we're not talking about past presidents being weak or anything like that. They knew what would happen if they did this. And I hear all these Republicans on TV, and they want the Democrats to say it. And this is what pissed me off with the Democrats, because they fall in line with this crap. Because they get the Democrats saying, no, we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon either. You know, well, nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but you can't stop an ideology. You know, what the hell's wrong with you? People can build a nuclear bomb in their damn basement. You know, you can't monitor that. You know, so you can sit there and say what you don't want, and that means absolutely nothing. You can say, well, we're going to have them sign a piece of paper. Well, hell, that's a piece of paper. Like, they're going to follow that? And at the same breath, you say Iran can't be trusted, but we're going to have them sign a nuclear agreement. Yeah, what sense does that make?
But see, here's the thing, and this I haven't been able to confirm. And it's purely, I'm going to say this, it's purely based off of my favorite news source, which is the Lego News, the videos coming out of Iran.
Right.
But the past two Ayatollahs, so his father and grandfather,
Right.
both believe that having nuclear weapons were haram. For those who don't know, that's a Muslim term meaning bad, very bad.
Right.
Just short of being a sin. So for them to want a nuclear arsenal is considered very bad. They don't really want it. They didn't really want it. We were able to give them concessions through Obama,
Right.
that allowed them to reclaim some of their own monies.
Right.
They were content. They were happy. And this guy tore up that agreement.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we spoke of this a couple of shows ago.
Right.
But Obama's agreement that he had with them gave them an excuse to not actually have a nuclear arsenal,
Right.
but it got them some economic relief that they felt that honestly they deserved. Um,
Right. Yeah.
it it enforced that by having a third party inspection team come through, both announced and unannounced,
Right.
on a regular basis, during regular intervals.
Right.
Um,
And he had them give up like 90 something percent of their nuclear, enriched that they had. And they allowed
right.
them to keep just a little bit so they can run a nuclear plant for power there.
Exactly. That's what they had traditionally used um, their uranium for. And
Right.
for people who don't know, uranium is enriched um, and then used, and it creates another version of more enriched uranium that becomes a weapons grade uranium.
Right.
So that's what our original agreement did. It took their in weapons grade uranium away
Right.
from them so that they wouldn't get the inkling to
Right.
build a nuclear arsenal.
And they were fine with that. They just wanted to keep the uranium that they needed to run their country. Nuclear
Exactly.
power to run the country, just like we have down the street here in Fort Myers here.
And just as there is in Illinois and several other states
Yeah,
across the
to
country.
run their power, exactly.
Um, and that everybody was happy. We had no tolls on the Straits of Hormuz.
No.
We had no conflict between us. The only people who had conflicts were Iran
And
with
Israel.
Iraq and Israel.
Yeah.
We were never involved, not directly.
No. Mm-mm.
And we knew, our intelligence agencies had always been telling us not to get involved.
Well, that's the thing. We most of people in the office knew. Iran didn't even know what they had with the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, they just came across this here. They got lucky on this one, that Donald Trump and them handed it to them because they figured, hey, we could shut this down and they can't go through here and look, it's going to affect the whole world. Because they never thought about that. Because think about that. If they had thought about that many years ago, the nuclear weapons wouldn't even been a thought because they could use the Straits of Hormuz to be their power grab. That's more powerful than anything. Look at the whole world right now. They got the whole world in a shutdown. So I mean, that is a nuclear bomb for your ass, excuse my French, folks. But that itself is a nuclear weapon, because now gas prices all over the world is getting higher. Hell, Europe can't even, get gas and stuff over there because there's no oil coming in. I mean, and they had no clue what they had until this crap happened.
Well, you know what? I couldn't even necessarily agree with that. That was probably something that was it wasn't necessary. They had other things going on that they didn't have to worry about.
They didn't think about it because they had to get their oil through too. So to shut that down would have hurt them because they got oil coming through. So that's
Right.
their money revenue. So why would they even do that? They'd be cutting off their nose to spite their face. That's why I say that was not even a thought in their brain because they would like screw themselves out of money.
Right. And like I said, they already had their enemies between Iraq and Israel. They didn't have to worry about other people interfering.
Right.
So the strategy that would affect the global markets wasn't necessarily needed.
Right.
But enter American interference, in particular, this most recent episode. Oh, America is usually the leader.
Yeah.
Everybody follows America. So if we got to battle America, we're going to have to battle the whole world. So let's affect the whole world.
Right.
Let's let's put them in a position where the whole world is going to think twice about coming against us.
Right.
And that's what they did.
And that's what they did.
You
Yeah.
know, I said before that wars aren't necessarily fought on the ground anymore.
No, no, absolutely
You
not.
know, just as you and I know that um, the Klan doesn't operate and move the same way it does. We don't hear about lynchings and organized.
Or them running
Uh,
around in white sheets anymore.
right. We don't. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
But you better believe that they have influences in other ways.
Or you know it.
You know, other things that they do.
Yep.
You know, we know that there was a push by the Klan and other far right organizations, white supremacist organizations, to infiltrate local government.
Right. Yeah.
We know that. You know, that's common knowledge.
Yeah.
So they don't battle, they don't move the same way that they
Right.
used to.
And that's the way, same thing with Iran. So wait, hold on. No. Now we want to talk about diplomacy, though. Now he wants to go to diplomacy. And that's what really gets my gut because after everything already went left, come on, man. That should have been the first move, not the cleanup plan. And then you got people out there still trying to shift the blame. Oh, it's Biden. Oh, it's Obama. What? Let's be real for a second, folks. When that nuclear deal with Iran got torn up, it might not have been perfect, but it was something. It was structured. It was time bought. Now what we don't now what do we have? Nothing. Same thing with healthcare. Get rid of it. No real replacement. Now people paying more out of pocket than everything. It's a pattern. Tear something down. Don't build anything solid back. Then act surprised when everything collapses. Okay. And the wild part is, people still defending it like it's working. And at what point do you stop and say, all right, maybe this wasn't the right move? Because right now it just feels like constant chaos with no exit plan. And yeah, some voices are starting to wake up, even people who were once all in. But now what happens? Soon if they speak up, they get attacked too. And that's when it starts feeling less like support and more like something else. I mean, folks, this is absolutely insane because, I mean, he's been doing this. He started a problem, started chaos, and then he said, only me can clean it up. Dude, you should because you created the mess, and just like the Iran deal that he toured with Obama talked about, and I remember this explicitly. He said, I'm tearing this deal up. That was his first term. I'm going to tear this deal up because I can come up with a better plan than this. So then he had 4 years to come up with a better plan. Did he? Nope. All while Iran was building nuclear weapons because they had nothing to restrain them now. So they built nuclear weapons under his watch. His watch, because he tore that deal up. And then Biden came in right after him, and Biden didn't touch it either because he was too worried about, I don't know, the border, whatever the hell was going on. So now you got 8 years.
Biden's issue was cleaning up COVID and the economy.
Right. Yeah. So now you got 8 years of Iran building this nuclear weapon because you know who tore it up. So the blame starts there all the way to now. And now because Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, well, guess what, dude? They didn't have one until you came in and tore it up.
Right.
And people want to blame Democrats.
No need to have one, no desire to have one.
No.
Because they were getting, they had other ways. Money is also power.
Yeah, it is.
Power doesn't come in the form of weapons. So they were getting money. So why bother with the weapons?
Right. Benjamin Netanyahu got Trump, drug Trump. Trump don't want to admit that, but that's what happened. Benjamin Netanyahu drug Trump into this crap, and that's the real deal. And that's why we're stuck in this stupid quagmire. That's why a lot of people are starting to turn against Israel because a lot of people are waking up and knowing that, yeah, Israel started this garbage because they want to fight Lebanon and they needed the United States to come in. And what him and Trump didn't know, they thought if they start this, the whole world will come in with them. And they didn't. The whole world said, we're not getting involved in that mess because we know better. You guys didn't even come talk to us, consult us about what you wanted to do. You two just jumped all in and just started doing shit. And then you want to come and ask us for help.
it's not only that, but again, America is known as a military might house. Iran is not by any means. You
No.
know, we're talking about a whole country that's the size of a couple of our states put together.
Right.
Um, we we well, Trump and Netanyahu expected Iran to just roll over,
Right.
and they did.
Exactly. That's what they did.
Never mind the rest of the world. They just figured that if it was just them,
Yeah.
that they would just roll over, and that would be they'd get everything they wanted.
They should have known better because the RGC in Iran, it's 900,000 strong. Them people aren't giving up nothing. And if they put boots on the ground, it's going to be a bloodbath. Not over, not over there, but over here from our soldiers and anybody else to go to war over there, because them 900,000 soldiers are going to be all up in the sand, in the mountains, waiting on somebody to step foot on that ground. Just waiting.
Again, like I said before, they have been battling Iraq and Israel for the past 500 years.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we've been in existence. So
2,000
know,
years. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Iran's been around for 2,000 years.
They know where all of the hides and the crevices are. We would be coming in blind.
Right. We're 250 years old. They're 2,000 years old, and you're trying to go. Like I said a couple of shows back ago, here they trying to tell other people how they want them to change and live their life when they've been here 10 times longer than what the United States would even thought of. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. So let's go into the nuclear threat reality. Iran crisis.
Kiki Arnold sent in. He doesn't have anyone in the intelligent. He doesn't have anyone intelligent in the agency to help. Well,
you know, the thing is,
that's 100%.
But Marco Rubio warned him. He just didn't back it up. Marco Rubio did warn him about going over there doing this shit, and he just went to Benjamin Netanyahu and did it anyway. That's why I'm saying, and you can look that up because it was crazy, man. My internet.
The problem is that even if Marco Rubio had warned him initially, Marco Rubio wouldn't still be in the staff if he wasn't a yes man.
Oh, he's still a yes man. He's still
exactly. So he may have warned them coming in, but as soon as this guy said, no, this is what we're gonna do,
he was like, yep.
Marco Rubio would be like, oh, yeah. Well, you're right. We could do it. We could do it though. We could do it.
I know. So let me ask you something, and really think about it, folks, and not just you, but folks out there, everybody. Last year, the message was we destroyed their nuclear capabilities. Remember that? Last year. Now the message is they can't have a nuclear weapon, huh?
That was 9 months ago.
Yeah, 9 months ago. Now you're saying they can't have a nuclear weapon. Well, if you destroyed it, which is it? If you destroyed their nuclear capabilities, which is it? Because those are two completely different realities. And here's the bigger issue. You can't bomb somebody into changing their mind. You just can't. All you do is make them more determined. So when people keep saying Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, okay, everybody agrees with that. Hell, I even agree with that, you know. But how do you stop them from wanting one? You can't unless you're talking about something extreme, and nobody wants that. That's why diplomacy was always on the table. Not because it was perfect, but because it was realistic. You know, you're dealing with ideologies that go back thousands of years. You're not changing that overnight with force. And now we're stuck dealing with higher prices, more tension, more uncertainty, and all from decisions that didn't have a long-term plan behind them. And the crazy part, people still standing behind him like it's nothing wrong. So I got to ask, how many times does the same thing have to happen before people finally say, okay, all right, enough is enough. I've had it. Because at some point you got to wake up. You have to. I mean, it's just crazy, folks. This is a nightmare. I mean, yeah, I seen people rallying. Was the last week because gas went down below $4 and went down to $3.98, and guess what? It's back up to $4.19 now.
And here is, you just use that term. How long before people wake up? Again, Lego News.
Yeah.
So Lego News, they have a couple of videos out that are titled "America Wake Up."
Yeah.
And long story short, basically what it says is that we had always been the beacon on the hill. We had always been inspiration for the
Right.
world. And now through narrow-minded separationist thinking, um, we're losing that.
Yeah.
We are losing our credibility throughout the world, not only with our allies, but with our opposition. Our oppositions, in this case, Iran, who may not have had intentions on building an arsenal, now feel that they have to protect ourselves from our insane king.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know,
And that's why I say you're not. All you did was create more enemies. I mean, you can't. You killed people's kids over there, man. There was 163 children died. You think them people going to forget that? You think them people going to be like, oh, well, that's just my daughter. Oh, it's just my son. It's no big deal. We're fine
right?
with
That was,
America. You think them people going to be okay with that?
and that was just through one bombing. We've
Yeah.
we've sent several bombs and missile strikes over there, and drones and
Right.
everything
And
else.
killed so many. We don't even know how many. And you think people are going to be like, okay, we're fine with that. You can just do that. Now we're going to bow down to you. You know,
Right,
it's you made it worse for our kids and our grandkids. That's what you did. You know, because they're going to keep trying to come over here and do something crazy in this country because of what you just did in their country. No, they can't beat us in bombs and stuff, but they can sneak in here and create havoc in this country. They've done it before and they'll do it again.
right, for sure. And it's just been insane to me that, like I said, we have lost allies. We've made known enemies um, want to get stronger. That puts us in a bad spot.
Right. Yeah.
That does. That just puts us in a bad spot.
Right.
You know, um, where where diplomacy always ruled in America with our presidents when it came to our enemies, because we didn't want, going back to when I was a kid in the 70s, there were
Yeah.
several movies that came out talking about atomic wars and nuclear wars. Um, so we had already instilled it in our people that no, that wasn't what we wanted. We
Right.
wanted a diplomatic solution to all these conflicts. Our nuclear arsenal was a deterrent, but it wasn't our failsafe.
Right. Right.
You know, but now and even our enemies accepted that, respected that in us. But now we have a guy who, through his own track record of bombing ships in open water, um, that he has that where there's no due process, no nothing. He just decides that they're drug ships.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and even though we have people from other countries saying, no, my husband was just out there in a fishing boat.
Right.
You
Yeah.
killed my husband and my son. And all they were doing was fishing.
Fishing. Yeah.
You know, that in itself is enough to make even our enemies say, okay, this guy can't be trusted to do things even the right way.
Right. Well, that's why you mentioned earlier about being that beacon on the hill. You know why we were that beacon on the hill is because of who we were as a nation and how we treated others, and all that went by the wayside, with this guy here. And every people are okay with it. People respected us and not out of fear. They respected us because they wanted to have what we have, that freedom of the press, the freedom of everything, and all that's being shot down in a hole now. And now all it's about is treating each other like crap and browbeating everybody and blowing up and killing everything and bullying people So now that shining beacon on the hill just went dimmed out. It just dimmed all the way out because where's the hope at now? Because now everybody's against it here in the United. Hell, they don't need nobody to come over here and fight us. Hell, we're fighting ourselves.
Exactly. And I don't know how long it is before we close out, but I Mr. Producer, can you look up that Lego video, America Wake Up? It is awesome. It really is. It goes through and it talks about how even for Iran, we were the place that was known for having the dream where freedom was really free.
Right.
We were it. We were the
people was like, I can go to the United States and be a success. I can go to the United States and I can make it big. That was the dream. And all that got shattered because of this guy. All of it. That's like I said, that shining beacon on the hill just dimmed, the light just dimmed right out because it's the only people this guy want to be successful is white people. I'm sorry. Did I have to say that? I'm sorry, folks. Yes, I did. Because that's exactly what they're talking about. That Project 25, they're so scared of being the minority, which is talking about because they don't want to be the minority, like it's something wrong with being the minority. Look that up. If you don't believe me, folks out there in Facebook land, look that up. You think I'm joking? That is a real thing. People are worried about losing their whiteness here in the United States. And that is sad.
And it's not even all white people that this administration was looking to help. It was the already successful rich white men.
Yeah.
You got to keep in mind that our country wasn't founded on a 3-tier economic system, a low, middle, and high income system.
Right.
It was based off of the very rich
and the slave and the very poor.
Right, exactly. The very rich and the very poor.
There was no middle class.
Middle class is not something that was ever meant to be according to our forefathers.
Right.
So when they talk about making America great again, this is what they're talking about going back to. Getting rid of the middle class, having an elite rich class and a poor working class that does all the work. Period.
Right. Well, look at all his kids. They're making money hand over feet out there because he wants to keep them powerful and in charge. Money is power, and if you don't have money, you don't have power, and it's gotten so bad, $1 million isn't in power anymore. That's not even money anymore. But I guess we got that video up here, so if my producer let us know if he's ready to play it. And if he is, we go on and knock it out and let you guys check it out for what James wanted to hear. So here we go, you guys. I think.
Hello.
I know he paused it earlier. There it is. Oh, having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was playing earlier, but I don't know what happened. But that's okay, man. Maybe we get it going here eventually.
Like I said, man, to me, it was just a powerful little video, and they started out by saying, keep in mind, it's not that we hate you. We were inspired by you, but we're letting our worst attributes take over.
Right. Yeah.
They're winning out. And I just I see it. It's one of those things that's the old song was "I'm proud to be an American,"
Yeah.
and now it's questionable.
Okay, he's got it. He's got it. I think he's gonna yank it over there for you folks in
Here it
2
is.
seconds. So give us a minute and we'll get that over there for you because we're almost done. But he's got it up. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Our producer's trying to rock it out.
This velvet robe, Baron. Wake up, America. Open your eyes to the devil's design. Epstein, pedophile ruler, sacrificing for Israel's line. Wake up, America. Open your eyes to the devil's design. The world's watching your move. Don't feed the swine. Epstein's Island, 40 plus flights on the log. You the main character, Jeffrey was just a prologue. You act like a savior, but you're leaving bodies cold. How many nations have you broken? How many lies have you sold? Vietnam, Japan, Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Panama, Syria, Germany, Serbia, Indonesia, Cuba, Sudan, Pakistan, Egypt, Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon, Yemen. We're bringing you freedom, bro. They never asked for that. Retribution is coming with a storm you can't tame. Iran doesn't forget, and we're coming for the game.
This ain't the one. They got
Spoiler
two of them,
alert.
man.
Israel's
There's a
final
different
war?
one
It's
where
against y'all? Take it seriously. Before it's too late.
This one is
They're just
more so
using you for
saying,
now.
look,
Want to see the
on
real
America.
truth? Watch how they talk on
Israel is
Jesus.
pulling this trade
Don't say
right
I
now.
didn't warn you.
We're letting our government run us into the ground
Oh,
as a proxy for Israel.
bro, you got
But
to see if you find it, send it to me, Nuffer.
I will do that
Yeah,
because
sure,
it's actually, like I said, it's powerful because it goes through and it talks about how they've always been inspired by us, and now that shine is starting to disappear, and they're really kind of disappointed in us that we're letting pretty much this guy and this administration take us down.
Yeah, it's sad, man. But folks, it's 6:03. We got to get the hell up out of here. It's been a great show, nephew. Thank you so much for joining in again this week, and it's glad to see you in that bald head of yours, and the beady eyes, and hey,
And a handsome smile.
Huh?
And a handsome smile.
Then that very handsome smile, bright white teeth and such, I keep picking on my head, because I had that 3 stitches back there because I don't know how I wear a hat a lot, but I wind up with some type of weird cancer back there. So they dug it out and kind of putting 3 stitches back in the back of my head. I'm like, how the hell did that happen if I wear a hat all the time? You know what I mean? But I guess
Was it skin cancer?
Yeah, skin cancer, but I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, they dug it out yesterday, so I got this bandage back here bugging the hell out of me, and the stitches bugging me. So I can at least take the bandage off tomorrow, and then try to put a little bandage on instead of this big old honking thing back here. This is what they call those maxi pads. I'm like, dude, I thought you said it was only 3 inches, man. Why you put a maxi pad on my head?
The darn thing's got wings.
I know, man. It's like, yeah, okay, we gotta go, folks. God bless you. We love you, man. You guys, thank you for tuning in with us another week. It was wonderful. Don't forget to send me that video, James, man.
I got you.
Love you guys. Take care. God bless. See you
I'll
next week.
share it on the page too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please. Yeah, put it on the Respect Talk page. You betcha. God bless you guys. Take care. Love you. Peace out.
All right. Love y'all, man.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect